Today we'll see what the paginated reports are in Power BI and how these can be implemented. So when we talk about paginated reports, so what is a paginated report? What is the need for paginated report? And how can we implement this in Power BI? So when we talk about paginated reports, the reports that we create in Power BI are interactive reports. So when you click on any of the data point, the, the data which is in table format or is being displayed in the chart, it gets filtered or highlighted based on the data point that is selected. So these are good for viewing purposes. So you can click on any data point and accordingly you can see the corresponding details on the same screen. But when it comes to printing or sharing a copy of it, it's not that much useful. For this, what we have is paginated reports. So as the name says, paginated means so you have some data which spans across various pages. So you can think of it as a static report or not a static report, rather as a report which contains the tabular data and spans across multiple pages. So for this, what we have is a tool, the report builder tool, which is a standalone tool for authoring paginated reports to Power BI service or our Power BI server. So these can be installed. The tool that we have is Microsoft Report Builder. It can be installed by downloading the installer from this location, which is there in the document. And in case you are publishing it to Power BI service, then the workspace must have the Power BI premium capacity. But in our case, we have the Power BI server, so we can safely use it. These are the various data sources that are supported. So you can connect to Azure, SQL database, analysis services, or warehouse, or you can connect to SQL Server, Oracle, Teradata, or analysis services that you have in your organization. So let's have a look at it. Let's have a look at a brief demo wherein what we are going to do is we are going to connect to SQL Server database and we are going to create a paginated report. So let me open the report builder tool. So when I start this, it shows me a pop-up. Which kind of report do you want to create? So we can choose the template and create it as well, or we can do it ourselves rather than choosing the template. Okay. So now herein I have got the built-in fields, parameters, images. In case any image is being used in your report, you can add it here, and you have a folder for data sources, so which will hold the connection information, that this is the server, this is the username and password, and this is the data set which will hold the the data that we are going to import by making the connection. Okay, so let me click on the data sources. I right click here, add data source. I select and give it a name, CNN AdventureWorks. So I'm connecting to AdventureWorks database and I select the connection type as SQL Server. Click on the build button. I select this is the name of my server, my PC, and I enter the username and password. I say save my password. Now I can select. Now what will happen is when I click on this drop down, it will connect to this server and it will use this username and password. So let me click on this drop down and I can see the various databases that are available. So let me click on AdventureWorks DW 2012. So this is a database which is available from Microsoft for testing purposes. So it contains some tables and some data. I can click on test connection and it succeeds. Okay, I clicked on save my password as well, so that when it is published to the server, this username and password is made use of for connecting to this database. Click on the OK button and click on OK button. And I click on, now I right click here on datasets, add the dataset. So I say I'm using the dataset which is embedded in my report. So which is the data source? This is the AdventureWorks. Now for the query, I can click on, there should be a button which is not getting visible. So let me just hide this. Taskbar settings and automatically hide the taskbar. It should be okay, I think. Let me just close this again and hide the dataset. You can see I click on the use the share dataset. This query designer should be available. I click on, I'm using this AdventureWorks. I click on query designer. And let's say I select, I want some of the fields from Tim employee to be shown. So I select the first name, maybe his hire date, and pay frequency and the base rate are the fields that I want should be shown. Maybe the employee key as well. Employee ID. Do we have some ID field? Employee key as well. Okay, and I click on the OK button. And I can even modify the query as well. So let me also select the last name as well. Click on OK, and I can move the fields here and there. So I'm appending, so I'm saying first name, and then there should be a space, and then the last name should be captured, and this field should be shown as a name field. And then I want the date on which he was hired, what is the payment frequency, base rate, and employee key, and maybe the employee key first, although it doesn't matter. Okay, and I click on the OK button, and I give it a name, yes employees. Click on OK button, and herein I can give it a title, list of employees, and herein I can just right click and say insert a table. So I want to add a table visualization, and I can move it here and there, and I select maybe the employee key, and then I want the name should be shown, and then maybe hire date, and I can insert the columns to the right, hire date, frequency, and the base rate. And I can even rename the headings as well, frequency, base rate, etc. Or maybe instead of employee key, I want it should be written as employee ID. Okay, and thereafter I can say that the they should be shown, the border should be shown, and this particular top row should be shown with a different color. Okay, and employee ID maybe I can get It should be shown as EMP ID only. Reduce the size a bit, and the name should be a bit bigger. Higher date. Now I can click on the run button and see the data. And list of employees, maybe they should be there in the center. And click on run. I can see these values are coming, but the higher date, maybe the format I want, it should be in DDMMYY or some other format, and this should be at up to 2 decimal places. So I go to the design tab, and herein I can say right click here, text box properties, and I can click on the number tab, and herein I can say it should be I can click on the date and I can specify the format, maybe DDMMYY or whichever format you want. There are various formats that are available. Click on OK button, and similarly for the base rate also, I click on text box property, select the number, and I see that it should be shown up to 2 decimal places. And if I want to make use of thousand separator, I can use this as well. Click on OK button. See this list of employees and so on, and it is appearing fine. And now it can also be exported as well to Word, Excel, or PDF. I select the PPT, or I can select the PDF as well. Sorry, PDF, maybe desktop. I can go to the desktop, list of employees. It should be, where did I save it? List of employees should be here on the desktop. Here we have list of employees. So we can see list of employees, but when we go to the next page, it doesn't show the headers. So we need to tweak it a bit. So what we can do is go to the design tab, click here, and click on the text box property or view here, view properties, and herein we need to say um, repeat with some of the things we need to set, and herein for this one we need to say advanced mode, and click on the properties and repeat on new pages true, and go to home, run again, and if we export it now, it should be appearing okay. So go to the next page, so we can see it is appearing fine. Okay, then the another thing is we can even save it to our server, which is the foremost thing. That is what you want to do. So we say that save, and herein I can click on recent sites and servers. This is the server that I have, report server, and I have a folder Paginated Reports, and I give it a name, list of employees .rdl. So it is publishing to my server. Okay, so if I go to my server now, so we'll see a folder Paginated Reports. I click here, And here in I have a report list of employees. If I click here, so it shows me here. And now this report, you can even export it as the way you want it. Thank you.